Hello, everybody. Today we will be discussing a parallel universe story. Rough draft. This begins with anthropomorphized aliens showing up to Earth, that is, alien-human hybrids. Where it is chill as fuck because everyone has access to information, encourages education, and does not assign a large amount of capital to the individual ego. This entire section is about a parallel universe society concept that I had a while back. Kind of like a super high-tech world that resembles Japanese culture, but not a carbon copy. Removal of large crimes as it is no longer necessary for survival. When they show up, the aliens from the other planet, the humanoid animal hybrids, there is some assumption that humans must have procreated to create them with animals. The aliens are quick to point out that they are their own species. They have been sending signals in the form of differing types of music to elicit the artistic expression that has been our obsession with animal humanoid hybrids to build up our planet's natural response system to better accept them. And this was all done from a very old information requisition time frame, well before super modernization. This was the portion of how we subconsciously modernized. The aliens discovered that without centralized governments, the way people interact with the world is startlingly different. Instead of tribalizing the same ways previously, they extended one total identity to all humans, while maintaining successful microcosms of interactions that fit the scale of each environment's needs. Ego, while still there, was easily noticeable by all and not an excuse one could use for their actions. One particularly interesting thing that humans do is astral travel at an alarmingly quick level of adherence and discipline, almost like air. It is unlike anywhere else they have seen in the galaxy. This is what originally attracted them to the human species. When we first began developing, in the book either use large number scientifically most accurate to what time frame story ends up in, note. What the aliens have come to bring to the humans is parallel universe travel. While many time travel stories end terribly in someone dying, blowing up, changing things in a negative way, when you travel to a parallel timeline, you simply create your own instance where you replace the person that would otherwise be you. You are also handed the same experiences cognitively since you are taking the quote-unquote place of that individual in existence. You could remove that essence or memory without changing the entire parallel universe to no longer be a proper reflection of itself. Only one existence can change into a parallel universe at a time, which basically means no 2+ people can just bump into another timeline. This limits things for a few reasons. While the parallel universe is stable with one individual, more than one creates a necessity to mirror, which in turn creates a black hole in the place of a random third individual in that universe and consumes it into a singularity. The humans are interested in finding out if there is a way to break the one-person rule, as humans are ought to do. We have improved our social skills, but the while in our spirit never fades. Humans at this point in existence have extended their sensory abilities past the available 5 senses that we currently have. The supposed or theoretical final amount of senses lands at a total of 9. They are currently at 7. The 6th sense was introduced to the spirit realm through the third eye. This includes astral travel. There are some practitioners and psychonauts from all history who have achieved this level of sense, but it was not common among humans until the time of the story. The 7th and most recent sense that came shortly after the fall of centralized government was the ability to exchange thought. This was the consensual only activity and needed no reminders, as culturally speaking. It wasn't on anyone's mind to take advantage of anyone. The personality trait in regards to human interaction no longer exists. This will develop after the aliens visit Earth number 8. I don't know what that note means. Oh, there we go. The story's 8th ability to the senses is the ability to time travel inside of your own timeline. And while most can view, only a few can actually manipulate to any degree. This manipulation is limited to speaking inside of the mind of yourself. Since your consciousness is a stream, the individual simply adds their words to the stream, hoping to catch the ear of themselves. Example, you pop into your 8th birthday, and then you say something to the stream. It won't affect it, because as with all time-traveling paradox, it has already happened in an infinite loop, So whatever you say, you already heard. Still, very interesting as a skill. The ninth and final ability is the one introduced by the aliens to travel to parallel universes. Since humanity gets introduced to the eighth skill first, they get some time with the ability to see what universal hopping feels like. This term to replace time, as no one uses it as a measure anymore. The replacement of activities for this generation. Extremely high concentration on sciences, creating the most intertwined system of technology and biology possible. This is spearheaded by current age scientists who have spent a numerous amount of time performing astral travel and learning as much as they can from the universe. Belief systems, astral travel to ideology. They bring in the principles of these understandings to the work that is done. There is, however, no assignment to a belief system outside of users and non-users. The existence of the activity is considered undisputed, and thus participation is the only belief available, or only engagement level available. The interpretation of the eternal state, as the users call it for reference, is mostly to study the ley lines of energy flowing through our world, paying close attention to toroidal fields and how magnetic forces work on a visual scale. While the temptation of attempting to manipulate this energy is present in most humans now, the current age has no such worry. The total understanding of the birth, death, continuation cycle erodes fears that drive reckless behavior in humans. In this state, they are able to see eternal energy, named for a soul, that is not passed on. The medical community has members or eternal walkers that help ferry them to the transfer point. They have seen glimpses of other entities that take the souls to the other side, but nothing confirmed. It seems the identity of these beings are to be kept a mystery, for now. Make this the 3-book series that I wanted to do. The Book of Nothing, the Book of Something, the Book of Everything. One of the lifestyles of people from this time is helping make sure animals get where they need safely, like animal crossings, guards for human-animal intersections, i.e. in the jungle you have acrobats that help direct monkeys. In the safari, you have groups of hovercraft riders that pull different planes, animals. Ocean, you have mermaids with rebreathers or small organic cyberfish pods that swim like fish to move whales and certain large school fish bodies. People who inspect nature instead of oil pipelines, coral reef inspectors, curators making sure no invasive species take over the ecosystem. While humans are around each other, they can see the energy exchange between themselves and the person that they are interacting with. This helps highlight how someone is doing, whether or not they want to help, and if the conversation is going to be beneficial or detrimental. Though it is almost never happens, occasionally two individuals will decide to test out a negative interaction. It is widely believed that this is done purely out of curiosity and not a sign of moral deviancy. The design center for all human life revolves around the spiral. When the aliens come to Earth, they discover that all the human interaction architectural design comes down to the spiral. Upon further examination, realize understanding the spiral is the key to social harmony. The understanding that everyone and everything is simply a plot point on the spiral and will return to the same challenges, situations, etc. as before. To help prevent judgment of each other, there is a mutual understanding of peace between experiences. Flow art has become a full-scale production when it's put on. Cirque du Soleil meets Blitzball from Final Fantasy X. Full-blown coordinated sets, light manipulation, 4D sounds, movement, or water effects added to engage the crowd. For art, there are multiple town center libraries in each area that allow artists to upload their data to the library, allowing others to view. The art is simply for sharing. The individuals who run the libraries ensure that all content submitted has a chance to play 15 seconds at least on the art display in the library. Digital uploaded art plays like a changing photo all day, cycling through all the submissions. If they ever run out, they simply start over until the new submissions are uploaded. Plants, people grow at home for health and cognition, mushrooms, weed, hemp, etc. The average plot size for a country human or a family of humans is about 13 acres. The design for the property is spiral, with the house in the center and the pathways going north, south, east, west at a curve to follow the spiral design. That means your north pass is actually starting on the west side or something along those lines. This provides a 360-degree viewing of all crops as well as animals or other structures on the property. While the country human has homestead as their supply source, the city humans kept a little closer to life before the end of the period of the blind, before the awakening, possibly renamed. The city humans enjoyed and choose to spend time in the city apartments, helping upkeep the infrastructure and providing entertainment or food for those who visit. This means that some of the groups of country humans band together to provide the food materials needed by the city dwellers by combining their plot size to create a farming commune. These grow and diminish in size depending on the need of the city province to help keep waste to an absolute minimum. In the city, the animal traffic directors work in the sky as much as they do on the ground, wearing infrared, which filters out sunlight by limiting the spectrum it sees, limiting it to a temperature, goggles, making sure the birds, planes, buildings all work in harmony. Buildings are designed to match the natural flow of the wind, allowing wind to pass through certain parts to prevent the wind tunnel effect of cities now. This is also to be commented on in the book. Instead of your usual flying car scene you see in futuristic examples, you will see nature taking the top side flying and humans using mostly hovercraft closer to the ground. There is still high altitude travel, including planes and helicopters, though much different than when you would believe them to be considering today's model. Possible technology idea. All of this technology is run off of spiral technology. There is an inventor who created a perpetual motion that generated infinite electricity. This is created by building a massive machine, about 100 foot wide, 100 foot tall, that could create perpetual energy. You then shrink the device down to the size of a baseball to be used as a leaf or a branch. And the city and world are divided by regions only for description and use plant or earth-based names. Example, building is root or something along those lines. In terms of trans people, they have two options. They can either enter into a stasis pod. This will allow them to lucid dream and wake up in the body of their actual gender. Or they can choose to take the medicine through an implant to their gear, cybernetic enhanced equipment, or through infusions done in their living quarters. This is inhaled through the respiratory system and absorbed by the blood vessel in the lungs. Possible plot thing about that later. This is discovered at birth by seers whose only job is to ensure the individual grows up the way that they were meant to. Technology point. When individuals read books, they can experience an augmented reality which showcases the book in a resolute 5D around them, which includes as the fourth dimension of smell and fifth dimension of senses, similar to shock, vibrate, function in a video game. They may also choose to watch the book, which is simply an AI-generated version of the book. There are no more books to movie adaptations. Because of this technology, it is always a direct translation of the book. Possible parallel story series. After Aliens Unlock Parallel Travel, one of the books. Write a story about someone who is trying to reset the universe as it is a game, like the Konami code, but for existence itself. Maybe instead it's like an upgrade to godlike qualities of magic. Either way, write it. Since we are made of light and energy, the manipulation of such would logically be how one is to crack such a code, between audio, hertz, and physical vibration, light, air, taste, some geometric combination utilizing all of these elements. The book is being written by Uni, nickname for the universe, so that's why I named my podcast Trevor and Uni, because everything that I say or do is in conjunction with the universe. I don't do it by myself, so I'm giving credit to the other artist. So it opens up the possibility of multiple perspectives to write from. Since Uni is everyone, swapping between first and third person should feel natural as the voice slowly shifts into one or the other.